All right. I'm Nick from Santa Barbara Wargaming. This is my first battle report, and we are going to be having a game of Menoth versus Retribution. This is actually only my second game. Is E7 here. I'm going to be bringing as Jax. I have Reckoner and Blessing of Vengeance. Pretty standard. I'm actually going to be running a Redeemer as well, just to give it a shot for some infantry clearing. For units, I have Advanced Deploy, Daughters of the Flame, Zealots with Monolith Bearer. And I'm actually running, this Madeline is actually being proxied as a vassal and a mechanic, and then the standard choir. I also have Anastasia, who's going to be ambushing in the game here, and I will have first turn.
I'm Michael, playing Retribution today. Well, Retribution is all I play. Raven's the caster, pretty standard for a 35-point list. I've got a pair of Mage Hunter Assassins over here, Mage Hunter Strike Force, max size with UA. Pack of Stormfall Archers, Discordia and Phoenix, a Ghost Sniper over here. I like to run a pair of Jacks and 35 points. A lot of rep players don't. I find it keeps the model count low, and which can be an advantage in certain circumstances, especially with time turns. And I like the way that Phoenix and Discordia are both able to handle a lot of different threats. Let's get this thing going.
Okay. End of Menoth turn 1. Pretty basic first turn. Everything ran. Daughters ran up the flank. Zealots ran. All the Jacks ran. The choir sang the song to the Jacks, so they cannot be targeted by anything but magical weapons. And I cast Holy Ward on the Daughters. And that is my turn. I'm camping on 2 focus.
A little bit of action for Retribution at the bottom of turn 1. I basically clumped up the Mage Hunter Strike Force under Discordia's imprint in order to help protect from blast damage. Doing so allowed me to keep half of the unit stationary, allowing them to aim at the sisters plus snipe, let them hit pretty easily with the aim bonus and take out quite a few of them, which was nice. An assassin snuck over here too. I decided to just go for it and was able to get a kill on one of the Daughters, leaving them with 1 left, but they're okay courage-wise and still sticking around. Everybody else basically just reshuffled to try and create some shooting lanes with the Jacks ready to fight and shoot and countercharge and do everything they do. The Ghost Sniper ran up on the hill, and I dropped Veil of Mists from Raven right here in order to try and cut off the little shooting lanes, and I have the focus, so I figure I may as well. And that'll be it.
Okay, it's top of Menoth turn 2. We had some fun things going on this turn. We'll start with the easy stuff. So the last remaining Daughter went over and killed an assassin, needing knights to hit, which was great. The Zealots popped their mini feat and their spell ward, and they ran up the field to hopefully jam and block some charge lanes. My Redeemer actually walked up and was able to shoot the Ghost Sniper with a lucky scatter on a blast shell when he was out of range, and with a boosted damage roll was able to kill that. P7 moved backwards and popped awareness for his battle group so that they could ignore line of sight and cloud effects, and the big play of the turn was the Reckoner actually assault charged Raven and had just enough range to get a shot off, which hit, did not crit unfortunately, but did 11 points of damage. So that is the end of Menoth turn 2.
The bottom of turn 2 was a good turn for Retribution. Raven pops her feet. Everybody went to town doing a bit of shooting. Basically, Raven, the Phoenix, Discordia, and the Stormfall Archers all combined to take out the heavy, whereas the Mage Hunter Strike Force were able to take out the light that was here and do some other assorted shooting. Things were a little tricky, just because all these guys basically can't be targeted, can't be hurt with anything I have in this particular list, so I figured I'd take a turn and do some jack hunting. The Mage Hunter Assassin charged the remaining light, did 10 points of damage, and is sitting pretty. That was it for my turn.
Okay, this is Menoth turn 3. Well, we had some fun action this turn. Started off with, the Blessing of Vengeance went up and killed the last assassin, which was good. Choir moved up. Sevi charged the choir member in the back and just absolutely killed him. Popped his feet, took 5 of the Mage Hunters. 3 of them died to free strikes, trying to move toward Raven. The other 2 missed. Zealots moved up, threw a lot of bombs, killed some Stormfall Archers. killed some mage hunters. The mage hunters actually failed a command check, so they'll be rallying. That's basically it. Anastasia came on ambush from the flank and ran over toward Raven and is engaging the 2 archers there. And the one remaining daughter of the flame just ran around the flank to try to help out. And that's Menoth turn 3. Yeah.
Pretty decent turn. The Mage Hunter Strike Force, who needed to rally, I basically just pulled them back, left one guy to engage. The Phoenix went in and combusted and blew up a bunch of zealots. Raven had a fun little combat turn. She charged Anastasia. Took her out using Virtuoso Gunfighter. Took her free shot, killed the zealot. Kind of gratifying. That unengaged the Stormfalls, who were also able to shoot at the zealot UA and do some damage there. Discordia came in and sprayed the remaining 2 to help clear out this section of the board. Not a lot of models left, so it's going to start going pretty quick, I think, but we'll have to see who can make the most of what resources they have still on the table.
Okay, Menoth turn 4. Not a lot happening this turn. A failed assassination attempt, basically. We killed a couple mage hunters. We killed the Stormfall archer. Took an objective point. Basically, arced E7's gun through at a Stormfall archer. It failed. Only rolled 1 additional bounce. Didn't hit Raven. Channeled a Hex Blast and tried to roll a 7 on 2d6 to hit, which would have possibly ended it with only 1 focus left to boost damage, and missed, rolling a 4. So that is end of Menoth turn 4, up 1-0 in command points, if that actually matters.
Definitely an interesting turn. Yeah, basically activated Raven first. Raven locomoted the Phoenix around the wreck marker here and close enough to be able to get a charge. The Phoenix got the charge, loaded up with focus, and basically just missed everything and didn't do anything. So that was awkward. The Stormfall Archer, the one remaining, did okay. Basically, the Stormfall and the Mage Hunter Strike Force were able to clear out some of the infantry that was in here. I walked Discordia over to his light in order to try and beat it up. Discordia basically decided to emulate the Phoenix and didn't do a thing. And then got knocked back by the shield, and his light jack's unengaged, and is basically going to come over and beat my ass. So, lots of fun, dramatic, crappy rolls on both sides that have made this game go on a lot longer than it needs to.
Okay, end of turn 5. The game of bad rolling continues. Basically, we just started, Raven was exposed, Sevi channeled a Hex Blast, boosted hit, boosted damage on Raven. 3d6 only rolled enough to do 6 damage, but it was enough as she only had 5 boxes left.
Oh.
So, very close game of attrition, slightly to Menoth. Got a lucky assassination because he still had 2 basically undamaged heavy jacks to my choir and supports.
Yeah. Overall, it was an interesting game. Very attrition-based, definitely one of the more dramatic and interesting games I've had in a while. I'm not sure I would have done too much differently. I think that it was, with Raven and sort of a shooting list, you just need to be flexible and try and look for the good opportunities, keep the pressure on with range. I definitely think that we both had just some crazy dice towards the end. I think it could have gone either way. I think he did a really nice job keeping pressure on. At the end, I found myself just really focus starved because I was trying to fuel 2 heavy jacks with a million different things that they could have done and needed to do, but I also needed some focus to give Raven some options and try and keep her alive and out of trouble. And ultimately, I think that focus allocation at the end, combined with the dice dropping the way that they did, I probably should have handled that differently. I think that it would have made sense to just take Raven and run her the hell out of there, rather than trying to use her as an offensive piece late game. With the jacks at full strength, pretty much undamaged, they're in a position to soak up some damage and inflict a beating, so I didn't need to rely on Raven too heavily, but I like to get the Warcasters in there. I think it makes things more fun and interesting, so I'm pretty happy with how it went, all things considered.
Alright, final thoughts for myself with Menoth. This is only my second game versus Red, so I'm still learning their list, and would have changed a couple things. For example, I overextended my daughters a little bit on the first turn. not really knowing the Mage Hunter Strike Force too well, and the blessed weapons, ignoring the defense shenanigans that I was pulling. Lost a unit that I really didn't have to. They still influenced the game, killed an assassin, did some flank attacks. Just one little thing there. My list composition, I was only running 1 heavy and 2 lights, and no real weapon masters in the list, so I knew from the get-go that my game was going to be to delay his heavies. I really didn't have anything, with Peace Heavy's spell list being more of a support caster with influence on troops of actually killing the heavies. So I used the Zealots and just a lot of the Jacks to basically just stall the game out. I think Michael played very well. He didn't really know some of the Menoth things because I'm playing a caster he really hasn't seen. So
every Menoth list is like, guess what? 1 million new rules. I think that's something that'll just come with time.
So, for example, the game hinged a lot on the quick assassination turn 2 that I did, where I sort of caught him by surprise with Raven, with no camp focus with a Reckoner charge. It ended up costing me my Jack, but I misplayed the Vassal of Menoth positioning, so I couldn't get my ancillary shot. And that could have ended the game sort of before it started. So a misplay on my part and just turn 1 running positioning. But overall, it was very strong. I definitely dodged some big bullets with my Severius dodging, his Jack charge attack, which would have killed him. He was only sitting at armor 15. So definitely could have gone either way.
Phoenix thermal blade, just be like, ugh. Can't hit anything.
Basically, a very big attrition game. The objective didn't really come into play. It ended 1-0 just as a mute point. It basically got to the point where we knew it was going to be caster assassination.
Knockdown drag out for a long time with dwindling resources on either side, and basically who ended up being vulnerable first. He played a heck of a game, and look forward to another one in the near future.
As well.
I think that just about does it. This is Santa Barbara Wargaming signing off. Hope you enjoy the report.
Yep.